Hello, this is Crypto Joe, and this is your Joe Knows the Cryptos show. Okay, so let's get going. So I'm going to talk about three things today, and we're going to make it brief because it is Sunday. This will be my final PGV update, unless that's the cliffhanger. I'll tell you that at the very end. But this will be my final PGV update. I'm going to give you that. The second thing I'm going to go over is Aviate. This week they released their first earnings or shares or dividends or how do you want rewards. That's the word I'm looking for. And by the way, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm just sharing with you the going ons in the crypto DeFi space for the week and my experiences with it. And finally, I'm going to talk about what's next. What's next? So we're going to go over PGV, final update, Aviate, and what's next. Let's get going. All right, so PGV, some very odd happenings over the last, I don't know how many days it's been. We've been in this refi or refund loop. Manny, the creator, now known as the Believer, has told us, first it was the PGV contract, then he refunded and everyone was supposed to go in the USDC contract. And then in the middle of that, he's still doing old refunds, talking about new refunds. And every time there's a promise made, a promise is not held. I can't begin to tell you that I understand all the nuances of this, but there's just every single promise is never met. And like I said, I don't know all the nuances of moving around that much money if that's really going on. And so this final one, he said he moved his family. He has all this time to create, what's it called? Discord sites, but can't make a single refund, And then the latest one is, well, I'm doing everything, returning everyone in USDT. I'm returning everyone's funds in USDT. Make another refund request. I've probably done three. Make another refund request, and then I'm going to give you back your money between now and Tuesday. So the reason why I'm saying this is my final update is because I don't want to keep getting strung along. It feels like Manny's new job is to float people for whatever length of time so he can move around. Now he's telling you he's in PST, Pacific Standard Time. He was in AST. Sometimes he give it an EST. I just think this is meant to throw people off. I don't know what's going on, nor do I care at this point. I do hope people get their money refunded. There's no promises made there. I have nothing to do with any of this. I don't know the guy, but neither here nor there. So am I fudding? No, I'm just telling you what's going on. If I'm fudding, and you can take it as that you don't want to hear other opinions than yours, that's fine. I'm just telling you what I see. And what I see is stall tactics. For whatever reason, they are stall tactics. Now, maybe he has the money. Maybe they're stuck in trades. Maybe he lost the money. Maybe it's not his deal to begin with, and there's some higher power play. I have no idea. But this whole protocol, I was a big fan because it worked for so long, and so long in this space is not a long time. 2, 3, 4 months is a long time. So I'm going to go back to this, is that you stake money, work as fast as you can. It's a race against time to get your money out. That is it. If you think that any DApp can sustain 2% a day, you are out of your mind. Okay, so if you're upset at Manny, don't be upset at Manny. He's trying to give you what you want, and what you want is a super unrealistic, risky play that's going to end up in you losing money if you don't ROI quick enough. It is a race against time. All right, next up. So back up a step. I hope you get your refund back. I have, like I said, I have about $2,000. I've already lost $1,000 of rewards that get swept away. I didn't expect to get that after he shut down the site or shut down the what's it called? The taking the money out. I can't get the words out today. So the excuses keep coming. They don't make a whole lot of sense. I hope you get your money. That's all I'm gonna say. This is the final update, unless, and I'll leave you that unless till the very, very end. Unless, one more thing. Okay, Aviate. First of all, I was very excited about Aviate because it takes all the things that worries you about stable fund, yield robot, rely fund, and now hopefully not, but PGV, is that those all were made on a bunch of promises. And I still see these DApps coming out. There's another one. there's another one that I saw recently, and it was iBots or something. Same thing. We promised to do all these things. Now, I'm not going to get into that today. We'll look at that. I know a lot of YouTubers are shilling it right now, so I'm going to look at that this week. But on this one, on Aviate, so they promised a rewards by 8 p.m. on Saturday. Now, Saturday morning, Saturday the April 15th, their website went down, the front end of the website. Obviously people are freaking out, like, oh God, here we go again. And then they went on their Discord. If you're not on their Discord, you got to be on the Discord of all these things. That's where information gets relayed. It's a weird thing, but that's how it goes. So on the latest with Aviate, their website went down, or at least the front end of the D app went down. So people were freaking out. Now they did make it available to claim through the contract. If you don't know how to claim through the contract, it's actually really easy. They give you the contract address. You go on that. You connect your MetaMask wallet. You go down where it says there's little radio buttons or buttons you can push that says contract. And then you write contract. And then there's a little red button. Then you hook your MetaMask or whatever wallet you use. Sorry, I just use MetaMask. Whatever wallet you use. Then you go down to where it says claim. You hit the claim button. You verify the claim and you get your money. It's not hard. So I did that today. And I have $1,000 staked at Aviate, and I got $5. So I did the math. That's 0.5% return. Easy math to do. $5, $1,000, 5 divided by 1,000 is 0.5%. Well, a 0.5% on an annual basis, if you get that weekly, that's a 26% return. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking that's a crappy, God, who says shooty? That's a crappy return in the DeFi for the risk we take. You're right. But it's still an absolutely amazing return when you really think about it versus, even though things like Rely Fund and Yield Robot and Stablephone were offering 1% to 1.5% to 2% a day, they were all done on promises. Going back to that, they were done on promises. They promised to do this. They didn't give you any indication of who they were, what they're all about. There was no KYCs, doxing, audits. Well, that's the cost of doing business. So if you're doxed, KYC'd, and actually have a business model, your returns are not going to be as great as those who promise all those things, but may or may not deliver, right? So in this case, Aviate, they went through doxing, KYC, showing their trades, audits, all these things, and they're doing real things. They might not get as good of return, but the chance, in my opinion, and this is not financial advice, their chance of failure or malicious behavior and stealing your money is lower. It's not zero. It is definitely lower. Crypto could go to zero. Their bots could fail. Their bots could be, could get infiltrated and hacked, and your money can be stolen that way. There's lots of ways you can lose your money. But the reality is there's a couple less ways that you're going to lose your money if they're doxed, KYC'd, and audited. Better chances. So that means slightly less risk, and less risk means less rewards. If you don't understand that, that's simple business, and you're running on hope. Okay, hope is not a good strategy, right? Hope is not a good strategy. So let me wrap this up by saying, Aviate, I did get my returns on Saturday. I had to go through the contract. It worked fine. I got a 0.5% return for that week. I'm not complaining about it. They said to expect 5 times more in the future when they have their capital deployed, because that 0.5%, if out of the 1.6 million, if they only have $200,000 deployed and they made $8,000, where's my calculator? So 8,000 divided by 200,000, that's a 4% for that week. So depending on how much of their capital is deployed, that might not be a bad return. I just don't have enough info yet. But what I'm telling you is that the opportunity is still there. The risk might be slightly lower than those who just promise things, and I'm going to stick with it. All right. Finally, I said, what's next? Oh, there's 2 final things. What's next? What's next for me is I'm going to be scouring the internet. I'm kind of stuck in this truth seekers bubble right now. I don't know. I got there because of lots of different reasons. And I did Aviate, I did Fathom, Truth Seekers, a couple other projects. Well, maybe that's it, but kind of feel, I don't want to say stuck in there because it's not a bad, they're not doing bad things as far as I know. But I'm branching out. I'm meeting with some people next week in the crypto space outside of my world, on a protocol that's been in place for 2 years already. And I'll be sharing that with you shortly. And my final thing, I said I will not do another PGV update unless, and here's the unless. I will not do a PGV update and just tell you how they're stalling you. If monies are returned in full to me, I will update you and let you know, but I'll also check to see if other people, everyone else has been updated. So if that happens, I will update all parties on this, on Joe Knows the Cryptos, and that's when we'll talk about PGV next. Other than that, if you don't hear from me again on PGV, just assume it never happened. I'm going to forget about it. I'm going to cry in my milk. I think there's some kind of saying like that today, and that's it. I'm done because it was a risk that I took and I lost if they don't refund me. If they do refund me with no rewards, then I just get my money back. I will also be very happy because I did get about 3/4 or half of my money out of the USDC contract. I was fully rebated from the USDT and the Poly contract. I put that money, most of that money except the $2,000, I put that to play in eazybot, which is another thing I'll be talking about. I've done 2 or 3 videos on that. It still returns and my money is safe as it can be in Binance US exchange. So that's all for today. So PGV, no updates yet. This will be my last update unless I get a refund. Aviate, their first rewards came out on Saturday. It worked well as long as you know how to get into the contract. I look for great things for them in the future, but if they keep returning 0.5% a week, every week, that's not a terrible return. And finally, I'll be scouring the internet looking for protocols, and I've already found one that I'm talking to some heavy players in there and hope to relay that to you in the next week or two. That's all I got. See you next time.